All right, y'all, so to start things off, we got in this bad boy right here. Check it out. Jordan 11 Sale Newsprint Sport Royal. Now, as much as I like these, $255, you out your goddamn mind. Bam, the Jordan 11 $285, an Atlanta exclusive Jordan 11 releasing on November 22nd for a retail price point of $255. Now, I gotta say, the quality is definitely there. Overall, a very, very solid, nice, all leather Jordan 11. The upper itself of that leather is a very nice tumbled, old granddaddy nutsack material with the wrinkles and everything in full effect. No diddy. You got the debossed Jumpman logo featured on the back portion right there. And as I stated before, that leather is pretty uniform throughout the whole entire sneaker. Now, what stands out about this shoe, of course, $285, that is the Interstate that will take you around the whole entire metro Atlanta. Pretty much, if you gotta get somewhere from point A to point B and you live within the city and you're trying to make it around through the city, $285 is usually your go-to. You also got 85 and 75 and I-20. Pretty much the city of Atlanta is almost like a bullseye. It's actually one of the best in my humble opinion, and I'm not being biased. But you got the city of Atlanta and $285 that goes fully around it. Then you also got 85 and 75 that merge right there and take you straight through the middle of the city, and then they disperse down at the bottom. So it's like and then you got I-20 that runs right through the middle of the city. So you got a circle, a up, and a down. And a quick fun fact, I believe there's 60 miles in 285. And I say that to say if you're going 60 miles per hour, it's gonna take you about 1 hour to get around the whole entire thing. Let me just clarify that. How many miles and how many exits are on Interstate 285?
Interstate 285, also known as the perimeter around Atlanta, is roughly about 64 miles long. In terms of exits, it has around 47 to 50 exits, depending on how you count all the interchanges and major junctions.
Thank you. My grandfather told me about that like back in the 90s. But back to the sneaker, you have this all white canvas, and on the box itself, it reads Sale, as you can see, and then the newsprint. Now, what stands out about this shoe, because a lot of it being just more of a sail and blank canvas, of course, is the back portion of the sneaker. And then also featuring a little bit on the carbon fiber and the actual pod itself. And the insole, which we'll take a picture of to show you that as well. The shoe itself, of course, is name given based upon Interstate 285, but the shoe itself and its design is also paying homage to the murals throughout the city of Atlanta. We've had a pretty big mural and graffiti overall presence within the city for years. I mean, growing up as a kid, whether you're going down Little 5 Points or going down East College Ave or anywhere within the city of Atlanta, murals and graffiti have always been a big part, whether it's on billboards, whether it's under railroad passings, or even under the train station itself. Murals have been placed everywhere throughout the city, even on street signs. One of my favorite definitely is the Outcast one done behind Wish ATL. But with that said, murals and art have always been a very big part of the city, but never really represented through the portion of a sneaker. And I think that they changed the game by doing that. Now, is it very subtle? Yes, it's very subtle. However, even though this shoe is very subtle, I do, however, like the shoe a lot, and I'm okay with it. I mean, could they have done a little bit more? Yes. Out of the bunch, the Mojave is definitely one that stands out more, but as far as quality and overall look, I think that the 285 one is very, very solid. It is more basic though. 255 is a lot. I'm probably gonna pass on this particular shoe. However, we will do a full-on in-depth review about it, talking about it more and giving you all that input down the road. The carbon fiber on the sneaker is blue, as I stated before. In the back portion with that type of overall color that is featured also on the insole as well as on the inner line of the sneaker, also kind of mimics a lot of those colorways that were once utilized for the Olympics during 1996 in Atlanta as well. You also have what is typically the patent leather portion of the shoe wrapped in that same tumbled leather, but also with like an indentation line that runs around the whole entire sneaker as well. But everything for the most part is pretty uniform as far as the leather goes, and is not that much of a change of different materials from those leathers. They all seem to kind of be the same exact leather. On the actual tongue, you have a full leathered out tongue as well, and the third spacing is white with a blue Jordan and a red Jumpman. And that 255 is more than likely coming from the fact that it's in a Jordan 11, but also an all leather Jordan 11. Now on the inside, there is no statement of synthetic leathers or anything of that matter. So more than likely, this is a all real leather shoe. The leather feels good. I like it. And I haven't seen an all leather Jordan 11, at least off the top of my brain, since you have to just tell me when. We typically see the leather on the top portion, but not the patent leather being leather as well. There's also a Houston colorway, a Mojave colorway that's dropping in Las Vegas in that area, and then of course in Atlanta. Now I don't know if these are releasing only in the city of Atlanta or if neighboring states like Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina will be getting these, or Florida as well, but we'll just have to wait and see. But we can definitely tell that Atlanta, they'll be everywhere. But be on the lookout, we'll be doing a full-on in-depth review on this shoe very, very soon. They're nice, they're clean. But what I'm really looking forward to, unfortunately, I know it's crazy, right? I'm representing my city, but these Shadow 10s, they clean. The Shadow 10 is set to release on November 19th for a retail price point of $215. Now, the last time that these released was back in 2018, and I actually own that pair, and I still own that pair. One of the reasons why I may potentially pass on this shoe, I got to go down and to see and compare, and we're going to do a review. When we do that review, we'll compare it to the previous version. Now, one of the main things that I've seen that is kind of like different from this pair to that pair is the material of the actual suede utilized on this shoe as well. Like, it definitely feels different from what my mind can at least remember, but we'll have that shoe in hand to do a side-by-side comparison. And as always, Jordan Brand is stating that this pair is closer to the original pair, and they even gave us the box, right? I think we talked about this in a previous video, that this box was the box utilized in 1995. Some of y'all said 92. There was a lot of speculation of different times when this box was utilized. Feel free to let me know, but I think when I looked it up, I found like 95, right? It was sometime like around 95 or something like that. But I think someone said they got this box in 94. Y'all just let me know, right? I ain't gotta be right every damn time. Now the box itself though does state Air Jordan 10 Retro, Charred Grey, True Red, Black. Now these are size 8.5, and for the most part, man, I mean, these look very solid. And they look very true to their original, the overall shape. One of the things that definitely stood out to me on this particular pair that I'm curious to know if it did on that 2018 pair is that Jumpman on the back. It's big, it's huge, right? That's what she said. I'm very curious though if that is still the same for that 2018 pair. I just don't remember it being that big. Now you also have, of course, the Jumpmans being inverted as well, both facing each other. And I'm not sure if that's the case on that last pair, but that's also something to keep in mind. Now we've seen the Jordan 9s and the Jordan 10s release, and there were some definite upgrades in my thoughts and opinions on what they did with those pairs compared to previous pairs. The Jordan 9 Olive being one of the cases, because I own the older Olive, and the newer Olive just seemed to be like thicker, better built. It just felt like a better shoe compared to that model that had dropped. I think it was back in like 2012. This one kind of feels the same. Now we did have the release of the Jordan 10 Steel, don't forget, or the Stealth. Those dropped, they were limited, and they sold out and people were pissed off. Keep that in mind when it comes to this shoe. Now there's no word yet that this is gonna be extremely limited. I don't know if it's gonna be extremely limited. That part we'll just have to wait and see. But nobody thought the same, nobody heard the same until it was too late of how limited the Jordan 10 was. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not telling you to go buy them at resale, but I am telling you just to keep it in mind, because the Jordan 10 Steel did not hit my ears of being a limited sneaker until the day of release, and I started seeing videos of people lined up for them. It did not appear like that before the release date. Everybody was just laughing, thinking of a typical Jordan 10 release, and then they came and then they went. These are 10s, however, may live off of that, where people are remembering that and jumping up and trying to grab these as soon as possible. This is also, though, the original colorway from 1995. So there's a little bit of nostalgia, there's a little bit of classicness with it. However, keep in mind, that doesn't matter nowadays, right? The Taxi 12s is dropped. They had not been retro since 2013, and their pair is sitting right now, literally. There was actually a sale that went down where some stores were doing 10% off. These haven't released since 2018. It could be the case, it could not, but the Steel 10s, they sold out. You just never know. So it's more so gonna be depending on how many pairs of these they actually made. The Taxis, I think there were 80,000 pairs, which was a decent size of amount, and they still are available fairly easily at different sites at retail. We don't know this one yet, so we'll just have to keep it in mind. But the leather quality overall, very solid. You know, they have a little bit of leather featured here on the side panel as well as on the tongue. You have, though, then after that, it's more, I would say, this is not even like a suede, though. This feels like a nubuck. It feels almost similar, closer to like a Durabug. It feels very, rough. It feels like it's not a very cheaply or soft nubuck. It feels more of a durabuck. It feels way more durable. However, I'm not a materiologist, okay? Forgive me as always. Now on the inside, you do got the Nike Air feature there. Check it out. Red insole with a black Nike Air feature there. You got the checkered pattern, of course. One of the biggest things about the 10s is that checkered pattern on the inside that you all love. Well, maybe some of y'all, I do, I love. And then of course, you got it with that big boy True Red on the back. We did have releases similar to these, like infrared 10s that released throughout the time. But of course, 2018, we did get the retro of the original Shadow 10. And now, 2025, they're back for $215. Let me know down below in the comment section if this is a cop or not, or the 11. This week we have the Chicagos. Next week we got these, as well as those 285s. Then we got Black Cats, and then we got Bugs Bunny. It's so much. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.